Hi everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you for your feedback on my most recent video, which looked at the spy balloon. I want to take another look at that. I'll explain that in a minute. Also, I'm wearing my glasses lately because my eyes I've been doing a lot of fine sort of book work and my eyes are a little bit tired. What else do I want to say? Thank you for all those people who donated to Syria and Turkey earthquake efforts. I want to again say no donations to me. If you're thinking of donating to me, please donate to the earthquake appeals. They are still pulling people out of the rubble. And I can only imagine what's going on in Syria, where Assad has only just allowed some rescue UN relief into parts of Syria that are held by the rebels. So on that, New Zealand has just had a cyclone. They are so far down under. I don't in my lifetime remember them ever having a cyclone. They may have done, but their weather patterns, they've just had major flooding a few weeks ago. They've had the cyclone and again more major flooding, and on top of that an earthquake. So in 2023, I want to say that Pluto moving into Aquarius, Saturn into Pisces, two major transits. We're going to see these climate change related events, and we shouldn't be complacent about them. Our compassion and our empathy is needed in many parts of the world. And it's all about what you give out. It will come back to you. So it's always a two-way street. And I think how we help our neighbours, and particularly those that we may not have much in common with, really does speak a lot about us as people, as human beings. So any donations, please. And if you haven't donated, please give to those earthquake appeals, and loving light to those areas of the world that are really doing it tough at the moment. So I want to just speak briefly about the astrology and we'll get into the reading. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, for my American friends, your moon is in Sagittarius, and we have Mars sextiling Chiron as well, and we have the moon trining Chiron. So there is, or has been for us in Australia, that was yesterday, there has been this tremendous ability to start healing the emotions, because the emotions are, where our volatility comes from, it's where our anger comes from, it's where our dreams and our imagination, they live also in that realm of the subconscious. So I think there is this ability at the moment to heal, particularly around your closest relationships. So today in Australia, we're about 15 I don't think that's the case, 15 hours in front of you. So our moon is moving from Sagittarius into Capricorn. Again, Mars is still sextiling Chiron. So you might speak up, because Mars is the planet of action, on those areas where you're triggered. You might have been holding back, someone's been doing the wrong thing, overstepping boundaries, whatever they're doing. You're going to speak up today. Be mindful that you don't do that in an angry way. Be mindful that you do it assertively. There's a difference between anger and assertiveness. And Jupiter is conjunct Chiron. So wherever our wounds are, whatever is currently triggering us, there's a real spotlight on that. So there's tremendous ability to heal by understanding what are your emotional triggers, but at the same time, and taking action to heal them, but at the same time be mindful of overreaction. All right, that being said, let's move into the, I'm just going to pull tarot today. I will be doing a couple of astrology readings in the next week or two. Most significantly Saturn into Pisces on the 7th of March, and Aquarius into Jupiter into Pluto into Aquarius later on in the month in March. So they're coming up, those astrology readings, and I will take a look at how that will impact on the US chart, and also perhaps Russia and Ukraine. Today I want to go back to the spy balloons, and it doesn't matter, I guess, whenever I read on them, there is a propensity for the Tower card to keep coming up. It came up in relation to my question around alien technology. And alien technology can be technology we haven't seen. It appears that we're not getting full details on it. Now, I know the unidentified objects that were shot down are in very rough terrain, but I just get the impression that we're not being given the full picture. So I just want to see what is the question? I've asked a lot of questions on these balloons. I'm just going to ask Spirit what Spirit can tell us on these objects. We know what the spy balloon is, but we don't know much about the unidentified objects. Why so few details? What can you tell us? Crossroads. I'm getting the Two of Swords, the crossroads, heavy burdens, decisions to be made. What can you tell us about these unidentified objects, Spirit, please, that we either should know or need to know? Okay, so I'm getting a sun. Well, there you go. We've got the Ace of Swords, the truth, and there's the sun behind the truth. So, you know, just as sure as the sun rises, the truth will ultimately come out. I do want to say also that I haven't ruled out the possibility. I've done a few readings since then on another forum around the potential for kind of interference in our climate, in our weather. Certainly some of my viewers brought that forward, including some scientific minds. So I'm not discounting that. I'm not saying that climate change is a manufactured thing, but I am saying that we should be open to the possibility of, you know, technology being used in a way that might disrupt weather patterns. Now, again, I have no evidence or proof of that, only what I'm picking up from the cards. This technology is new. All right, so we've got the Hanged Man. So there's a pause, just as I thought. There's a reason why we're not getting, and yes, I know it's in rough terrain, and they'll tell us in 2 weeks that it's in rough terrain. But they are assessing what we need to know. Now, I think that it was a lot more serious, even if it was this espionage spying, like a new way of doing that, monitoring weather patterns, for example, collecting that kind of data. So we don't know a lot about these unidentified objects, but there is some kind of how much will we say kind of thing. I ultimately think that it will be handled behind, you know, with diplomacy, that there will be ways of handling it that doesn't include like a World War III. Was it a military operation? Well, they're defined military. There's no soldiers in the balloon, and there's no, in these unidentified objects, they were, as far as we know, unmanned. But I do believe there was a nefarious purpose for all of them. Now we have the Three of Wands. This is somebody standing with their back to the shore behind them, and they're looking out at the sea. And I kept getting that phrase, land and sea, land and sea. This is somebody who's waiting for their ship to come in. So I think they're gathering the information. Again, these came down over water. They had to shoot them down over water. It's also my card for a foreign kind of influence. So we have the Five of Pentacles, which is an interesting card in the past. This is like we're locked out of the abundance. We're locked out of the trade. If I had to say who might be acting with China, I would put North Korea and Russia into that category. There's something around them feeling like they have to act against the West, particularly the US, because it stands between them and their abundance or their gathering of their power, global power. As I said, it was a nefarious purpose. In the sky, we have the Ten of Wands, again gathering that information and struggling with the ramifications of what has actually happened. We know spying and espionage goes on. When I looked at China's chart, that was really jumped out. That's what they were doing. And I looked at their chart about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months ago. And it's what they do globally. But I think the US has got a lot of information on what the intentions, China's intentions were in relation to spying. And this has to be handled fairly carefully. We're not going to get... Okay, so here is the potential and the immediate future. We're not going to get all the information. I know I said that we've got the Ace of Swords there, that we would get some. And I do believe we will get some, but we won't get the full picture. Okay, in the here and now, we've got the Eight of Wands. So this is headlines, this is information coming through, but it's also the air. There may be more of these things in the air than what we think. The environment around this, look at all the wands. This is like fire, passion, motivation, planning. Gosh, it's everywhere. I just want to show you the spread of cards here. The foundation is the Three of Wands foreign. We have the Ten of Wands in the sky, or what is crowning this reading, a potential outcome. The Ten of Wands really carrying these heavy loads. We have communication coming in the immediate future about these objects. But in the here and now, we've got this gathering of the information and then some kind of way I feel that they're going to tell us about this. Now, the hopes and fears is surprise. They were taken unawares by the level and intensity of the activity in the skies. And again, I keep getting the Ace of Pentacles. That this was to do with the upper hand, having that monetary upper hand. And the Queen of Wands again. This was definitely I think that the unidentified objects were off-world? No. I feel that they were technology we haven't seen, could even be adaptation of alien technology. But what has occurred is very, very serious. And we've got the Knight of Wands. Again, lots and lots and lots of wands. Now we have loss and walking away. Someone lost. And we have the Lovers card, which is relationships, connections. It's Gemini, ruled by Gemini, air sign, information, data transmission, and we have the King of Cups. Biden is handling it, but I do feel that it's difficult. It's very, very difficult for him. And I think that, that you've got the House in Republican hands. They're going to hold inquiries if the information doesn't come out. But I think that what the Biden administration is doing is grappling with the intensity and level of this activity over the US skies. And it does have to do with picking up the upper hand. China, North Korea and Russia are the draws that I get, primarily led by China. So if you want to look at, I don't get anything, like I still get what I got. This is technology that we haven't seen and we're not familiar with. And it is nefarious in nature. I'm glad I didn't see the tower card. I think a couple of days ago there was the potential for that tower, but now there is a lot of planning and communication going on, and we'll see this condemnation globally now towards China's espionage type spying activities, like it's a concerted effort. So I think that's what's going on behind the scenes. Biden, of course, is gathering up his allies, and there will be maybe even through the UN some kind of condemnation of these activities. I guess what we need to know is, are they managing whatever threat? Because I do believe, as I said, it was nefarious. Is the Biden administration managing the threat these unidentified objects have posed to the US and Canada? Yes, that's why that came up. Absolutely. A plan and justice. Interesting. Never underestimate a Scorpio, which is what Biden is. Yes, absolutely. They're balancing the scales. They're actively planning. We do have the Ace of Swords gathering the information, getting the clarity that they need. And we've got the Six of Swords in the past, moving out of troubled waters. I think we've also got betrayal and heartbreak in the sky. And the Page of Pentacles moving forward. The page holds the Ace. We have the Knight of Cups underneath here. So there are talks underway. So yes, he is going to manage that that situation and is actively doing so. I am drawn to the Justice card. She holds the Ace of Swords there. So he is actually getting the upper hand. Now, nice one. So sit tight and let's see what the next few days bring forward. I want to go to now the former president. Of course, we know that there was downloading of classified documents onto a laptop. That laptop is now in the possession of Jack Smith, the DOJ Special Counsel, and his investigation team. I have always felt that they will charge him with obstruction. I think they are just now tying up loose ends to make sure that the lawyers, that's why they've subpoenaed Trump's lawyers, weren't acting alone, and that they do have some kind of proof that they were under instructions from Trump, their client. Now, that's all going on at the moment. The question also is espionage. Now, a lot of you said, oh, the Chinese balloon is overhead because Trump sold them information. Well, whatever. China has been undertaking this for a long time. And they do have satellites in the sky as well. I think the former president turned a blind eye, and I do feel that that was deliberate. But let's have a look at, are the DOJ getting close to an obstruction of justice charge? I do also feel Trump's lawyers are trying to negotiate plea deal to keep him out of prison. So I do believe he will face court. There's an Ace of Swords that I'm seeing now. Many hands on that. So much evidence is there out in the open. All right, so are the DOJ getting very close? This will be, I think, the first cab off the rank. They're getting close to an obstruction of justice card. Many hands are on this. Four of swords, retreat. It's ill health. Stepping back. Fours, a lot of fours here. Disappointment. He's lost 3 times. There's 1 cup remaining. I think that's what the talks are about. Really horrible cards. 5 of swords, abuse of power. The death card is in the past. It was over for Trump from the beginning. Oh, I might add, there's lipstick there, but I am drinking from my Biden cup. Will you shut up, man? Well, yeah. He didn't shut up, but certainly his power has ebbed and flowed. Now we have here the Chariot card in the sky, sorry. The Chariot card. Potentially. What's crowning this reading? He's abused his power. This question is on obstruction of justice, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles, national security, domestic security. There's also a pentacle as well. I will get to the espionage. The Queen of Swords keeps coming up in relation to this question. It's either going before that grand jury is a female judge. I haven't looked at that lately. Or there's a female prosecutor here. But someone holds that Ace of Swords, the truth. And we've got lying. Okay, so it's pretty clear the cards are laying out the obstruction of justice scenario, situation, real-time issue. Judgment is in the hopes and fears, the inevitability of that. And now we have weighing things up, weighing up the evidence. The 2 of Pentacles clarified by the 8 of Wands. So they're deciding now which parts of the charge to bring forward, and we've got the Tower card here as well. 10 of Swords. Well, I told you from the start that he would meet a sticky end. There's the Devil energy here, and this Sun card, full illumination, and the absolute need to put boundaries up against this kind of lies and illusion and delusion that we've seen so much of in the States. With Saturn again moving into Pisces, this will bring structure and a need to face reality, and this is what's coming for Trump. That's why the Tower is there. It's the reality. He's not going to skirt this time. They're getting very close, very, very close. They are walking a high wire act to tie up those loose ends, but then we have the 8 of Wands. Now we'll look at, did he sell any information to China, which is a different question. Will they charge him with espionage? So, interesting. They will charge him with the obstruction, I'm pretty sure. But the cards are telling me that. It's just what else will he be charged with? There's all sorts of wheeling and dealing. Here's my 2 of Swords. It's not... it's an unprecedented, other than Nixon, which... Really looking at Nixon in the past, he seems like an angel in comparison, doesn't he? All right, so let's have a look at, we'll go with the espionage. The espionage charge. Did he sell that classified information? He has a wad of it. My God, it's like he took a floating Nara off with him in the National Archives, like he became the mini National Archives. At Mar-a-Lago, my God. Saudis have been troopsing through there. The Chinese, who we wouldn't know who has been there. All right. Did he sell this information, please? There's a Knight of Swords here. So we got the 8 of Wands. That's a yes. And we get the 9 of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, by the way, is luxury. It's having everything you need. It's a good income, having a good income. Okay. Okay. Now we have Merrick Garland, or the King of Cups at the basis. I think, you know what I think he's done? I think he's undermined the Biden administration through this classified information, perhaps sharing it with those that to weaken the Biden administration. So we have the Page of Wands in the past. That's communication, stepping forward with a plan. And we have the Four of Wands in the sky, family, home. That looks like a little bit like Mar-a-Lago. It's my card for the Democrats as well. But this is a family type card. I don't think this just involves Trump. I think this involves a member or members of his family. And you know who I mean. I'm talking about Kushner. Star of Hope in the immediate future. I have to say he is wheeling and dealing with the DOJ, he and his lawyers at the moment. But however this situation turns out, the card, or the star card, tells me there's hope. It's a hopeful ending for us all. So we have here the Ace of Swords, the truth that's in the present, and the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, it's like you kind of see the cards and you go, oh, okay, yes. Here's the Two of Swords, crossroads, heavy burdens. Imagine that. Unprecedented. That a former president was a spy for other countries, or is a spy, handing over classified documents. So we've got the Nine of Wands here, which is boundaries in the outcome, boundaries, guardrails, and the anxiety here. I don't want to underestimate how serious this whole Trump thing is. 3 cups have been lost and 1 is remaining. So they're still wheeling and dealing on the charges. We have something coming to fruition in time. We have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands, movement of prosecution. So was he wheeling and dealing with that information? We get the Nine of Wands. He's battle weary, that's for sure. He's worried about the consequences of his action. Was he wheeling and dealing, please? He's certainly anxious about this, and he's not winning. He's actually going to lose. He's actually going to lose this battle. Nine of Wands, was he wheeling and dealing? Did he sell this information? So we have the Six of Wands, which is a yes card. It's a victory card. And the Devil shows me the greed here. And the Princess of Wands. So this is a similar card to this in the past. I think he has shared something in the past. Now that's no different to when I first read on this. Will they charge him with that? I think the obstruction, I'm just going to say the obstruction of justice charge is going to be the one that will drop reasonably soon. All right, now Nikki Haley has announced her candidature for the presidency in 2024. I always smile that she appears in a blue dress, as if a blue dress is going to warm independents and Democrats toward her. Softly spoken, but we know that she was part of that very, very corrupt Trump administration. Nikki Haley, is she going to be the presidential candidate? I just want a few cards. Honestly, don't really want to waste much time on her. Nikki Haley, is she going to be the presidential candidate? She certainly has hopes. She's carrying this kind of orb thing. She wants it for sure. She feels she can appeal across the board. There's also a box of popcorn. She can't, in the orb, there's a box of popcorn. It's sort of like a show. And I wonder too whether, Trump will back off her in the hopes that she'd be his VP running mate. Nikki Haley going to be the presidential candidate in 2024? I heard no. But we get the Three of Cups here, which is circles of support, and the voter. So she's definitely more palatable than some of the others. Queen of Cups energy here. There's going to be a revelation about her coming up that let's just say her competitors will make sure the media gets. And they've already done so. So this will come out reasonably soon. The World card, endings and beginnings, is in the sky. And we've got the Queen of Swords. We've got a lot of queens here. Cups and swords. Logic. People see her as logical, more straightforward. We have the Hermit card in the here and now, which is that isolation type of card, and the environment around her, paranoia. So this is the reality of anyone connected with Trump these days. The hopes and fears is the Tower. What happened with January the 6th? There's a reckoning. There's a reckoning there. And we've got a No card, which is the Judgment card. I think something's going to come out about her reasonably soon, and Justice, which is not going to be favourable at all. It might even end her candidacy before she starts. I don't know. I don't see her as the presidential candidate. I do want to just do one last reading. I think the next reading I do, I will, devote it to climate change and why we are seeing all these events, earth energy, man-made, climate change, and also the possibility of technology mucking about with our weather patterns. Okay, so Putin and Ukraine. What is Putin planning? He's apparently mobilising along with Belarus for a massive attack on February the 24th. Ukraine is asking for more weapons, but they are using shells, for example, quicker than what we can supply them with. Australia, I think, and one other country have entered into manufacturing of bullets, and I did predict that in the annual predictions that the world would start to manufacture more weapons. All right, so let's have a look. Putin, what has Putin got planned for Ukraine? Okay, so we've got the Page of Swords. More soldiers. There's spying activities going on as well. Around Zelensky, there are people here that he can't trust. He needs to be very careful. And we have the Seven of Cups, illusion and delusion, choices. Putin could also have a traitor in his camp, someone that he doesn't see. Many have thought that it might be the head of the Wagner mercenaries. But look, these aren't good cards at all. And so they shouldn't be for someone who has invaded a sovereign country and basically put us all in this situation for no reason other than territorial grabs. Six of Pentacles, loans and debts. Okay, so there's we don't hear much about the Russian economy, but he could be actually borrowing money. Who from? Oh, okay. Now this is where we get the worry card. The High Priestess keeping something under wraps, secrets. That's crowning the reading. Something we're not anticipating. The Three of Pentacles, working with more than just, Russia. There's more here. So what's different this time is he's got help from others. Yes, Iran drones. I saw North Korea supplying weaponry, but this is actually in the invasion. He is working behind the scenes with others to actually send soldiers in. I think they've been recruiting in Africa as well. Now we have here justice, very much a karmic situation for the world at this time. He's running out of money and resources, basically. That's what's snookering him. Hopes and fears of the devil, and every one of those countries that surround Ukraine and NATO know that if Putin's not stopped now, that the next one he'll come for is them. So we have here the Ace of Cups. That's like a new start, emotions overflowing, and we have some kind of bold, King of Wands, bold kind of step forward that will surprise us. But in actual fact, so there's more soldiers going to be sent in, but I honestly don't think it's going to make much difference for him. This is a war that he has already lost, and I think there's a real financial issue for Putin and Russia. So we have Temperance, the Sun, and the Magician. Not often you see those come out manifesting something. Then we have the Sun, illumination, and then finally we've got healing and moderation, and the Hierophant card, spirit, the government, disappointment. Doesn't matter what Putin will do, his fate is already sealed. All right, this has been a long reading covering a lot of topics. I will be back again soon. Don't forget Syria and Turkey. And I know you won't. All right. All donations to them, not me. Namaste, thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.